You're listening to Ask Dr. Jake. My name is Dr. Jake Tucker. I'm the owner and founder of Good Life Family Chiropractic here on the south side of Lincoln. And I'm coming to you today with another message of health, hope, and wholeness. And we just came off last night. Last night was an incredible evening talking about fitness, talking about why we need to exercise, talking about how to exercise as it pertains to building the immune system. And I just wanted to give you guys access to this. Now, we did that on a live stream. I posted that to Facebook. I also posted that to YouTube from my from the office page, Good Life Family Chiropractic. So you can search for that Facebook, facebook.com/MaxLifeLincoln. And then on YouTube, just look for Dr. Jake Tucker. And you can find all of the radio shows posted there as well. I actually post the video of me recording these shows. And then if you do need to reach the office, I encourage you to call us, 531-289-7100. You can also send us a text at the same number. If you don't get us, leave us a message. I'll get back with you as soon as possible so that we can get you on the right path toward health and healing. And so I really do. I feel like there's two camps when it comes to healthy living. There's a side that feels like you really need to eat healthy, and there's a side that really feels like you absolutely have to exercise and you have to be a fitness nut. And I'm here to tell you that they're not mutually exclusive. And I know that most of you realize that. And I know that that's not a new idea, but when it comes to putting it into practice, that's really what I see, is that it is two camps. There's people that like to work out and hate to eat healthy. And then there's people that like to eat healthy and hate to work out. And I'm kind of in that latter group. I don't mind eating healthy. I can make healthy food taste really good. I can actually make healthy food taste better than unhealthy food. If you're addicted to sugar, it might be a little bit of a different issue, but we can make, oh my goodness, I would much rather have a healthy meal than an unhealthy meal, not just for how it tastes, but how it makes me feel afterward. But not everybody's there yet. And some people are in this fitness camp where they cannot stand healthy food, but they would rather exercise. And both camps are a good starting place. We all start somewhere. I always say with a new client coming into the office, trying to apply to become a practice member here, it's, everything that you've done, everything that you've experienced, that's helped define you and create who you are. But it's also water under the bridge. We can't go back and get that water and relive that life. Even if we make you healthier now and we start undoing some of those things, it's not that we rewind or reset anything. It's that we still take all those things into account. We just start new, start fresh, and we get a second chance at it. And that's where fitness starts, is really, for me, I have to create this habit, this discipline of doing fitness. And so it starts, number one, I would say the number one key to having fitness in your life as a part of keeping your immune system high is just finding something that you enjoy. When I was really struggling with this, I actually just went back to sports. When I was growing up, I loved sports. I was out back playing some sport, whether it was basketball or football or soccer, or even trying out hockey. I was never any good at hockey. I'm not good in skates. I'm too tall for that, and just never had the discipline to try to learn skating like I did some of the other sports. But if you were looking for me, you found me in the backyard playing a sport. And most often it was basketball. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed even just shooting the ball by myself, but I thrived off of competition. And so I'd get my neighbor, my next door neighbor, to play against me. He was shorter, but he was faster. And so it was a good back and forth. And so we went back and forth and we built up, and we ended up playing high school sports together, played at a pretty high level, even got to play a little bit in Mexico when I studied abroad there at the collegiate level. And so I just love basketball. So, 2 years ago, I've got 3 kids now. I just decided that, going to the gym to do something that I didn't want to do was not enough for me. It wasn't enough to know that it was healthy to do that. I had to have some fun. And so I just started playing basketball at church. We had a church league, and started getting out and playing at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. That was a good start. And what it made me realize is that I was so out of shape. I couldn't do the things that I used to be able to do. And so then it became about supporting the thing I liked. And so I started running a little bit more, started doing a little bit more weight training to get my quickness up. And, as that happened, it just became more and more fun. And I was able to shed some weight, combine that with some of the diet stuff I was able to do. And my new normal, not just losing weight, but my new normal reestablished itself about 20 pounds lighter, even when I fell off of the fitness. I don't just gain the weight back, but even just resetting and getting myself healthy got me there. So key number one, find something that you enjoy doing. Key number two is knowing what exercise is for, like really understanding it. Like I can tell you to go out and to do it and that we should all have a fitness plan, but the healthiest cultures in the world, they just do exercise inherently. The people that live the longest typically live in some sort of mountain community where the city itself is built on a slope and you have to go up and down the hill constantly. And so they just have to make fitness an absolute part of their life. And there's two key components to fitness that we have to understand. The first is that fitness is really about the ability of your body to provide oxygen to every single cell. Also pull carbon dioxide out, but really get oxygen into every cell because every cell in your body requires oxygen. You can survive for a certain period of time without oxygen or with a decreased amount of oxygen, but it creates a very acidic environment. And just speaking from cancer, which is only about a third of deaths, only half of us will experience cancer in our lifetime. But speaking about cancer thrives in an acidic environment. And so when you're not getting enough oxygen, you actually increase your risk of developing cancer. We could get into all the sciencey details, but if you want to hear those, go back to these last few weeks of this Fearless Immunity Masterclass series. I actually did a whole week on cancer, an hour and a half talk on cancer and what it is and how we can combat it and creating an immune system that fights and kills and defeats that. And so we need to understand that number one, we have to enjoy exercise. Number two, we have to know what exercise is for. And that part A of that is actually that we need to get oxygen into every single cell in our body. But part B of that is that fitness is not about health or weight loss. It is about the ability of your body to perform well the tasks that you need to accomplish every single day. And so a fitness routine that doesn't support that is not going to keep you healthy. It's not going to do what we need to do. And so we need to find something to do that. So then I would say that key number three is then optimizing those things within your workout plan. Going and playing basketball for 2 hours is not the optimal way to work out. But when I was supporting my fitness level within that, I knew that the most efficient way for me to get those things, that ability to perform my everyday tasks, which as a chiropractor are many from a physical perspective, but then part B of that, get that oxygen in there. The best way to do that is actually through high intensity interval training. Now you can do this other ways. There are slower ways to get oxygen in. You can do a cardio style workout without hitting that. But if you're missing out on the oxygen portion of this, then you absolutely need to get in. If you're not huffing and puffing by the time the workout is over, or at least at some point during the workout, you haven't maximized your access or your oxygen intake. And so what we want to do is we want to maximize something called EPOC. EPOC. So that's excess post-oxygen consumption. And so what happens is when you do a traditional cardio, let's say you go for a walk, and nothing against walking. Walking's good for you. But if you just go for a walk and you say, let's walk for an hour, the benefit that you get of that for calorie burning, metabolism, and especially oxygen consumption pretty much ends when you stop that walk. But if you do, let's say 12 minutes of high intensity interval training, that EPOC, that continues for the next 36 to 72 hours. 36 to 72 hours where you're burning fat, where you're consuming oxygen, where your metabolism is high. So you're getting more bang for your buck in 12 minutes of exercising at a high intensity level. And that's not constant, that's interval training, high intensity interval training. And we do this in our office. So we're a Max Living office. We're the only Max Living certified office in the state of Nebraska within a 3-hour circumference of where we're at here in Nebraska. There aren't any other Max Living offices, unfortunately. We're working on that. We're trying to build out more. We're trying to recruit other chiropractors to join the mission here to realign the people of this country and of this state with with God's laws and principles of health and healing. But we're very stubborn. We're stubborn people. We like to do things the way that we do them. Some of us like to be on our own. I like to do things as a community, on a mission together. I feel like we're called to be in community. But what we've done is we put together this exercise plan, this fitness program called Max T3. Max T3. And what the 3 T's are they stand for time, type, and tempo. And basically it's interval training, but we have 72 different modules. You can go to maxt3.com. And when you're there, you can actually sign up for access to this fitness program. And it's just, last I checked, it was just $9.99 or $14.99. I can't remember exactly. And if you're a patient in our office, you get access to this for $9.99. It's pretty cool. But if you're out there, hey, $15 isn't bad. And that's not a monthly fee. That's a one-time access to this website. And there's 72 different routines on there that you can do. Everything from the 6-minute six-pack to, upper body focus, to back focus, to leg focus, to whole body focus. It's really incredible what you can do there. And we have community partners here. We've partnered here with HotWorks down on the south side of Lincoln here, and they're looking to expand. And the cool thing about HotWorks is they have these high intensity interval training modules that you can do in a sauna, an infrared sauna, which is key for actually priming that detoxification channel that happens when you're in the heat, especially that dry heat. And so it actually helps with detoxification. And so, those were some of the things that we covered last night. But one of the biggest mistakes I see people make with exercise is that they just think that that's all they have to do in order to be healthy. But that's not true. This body, think of it as a Lamborghini or whatever your favorite exotic sports car is. Just think of it as a finely tuned machine. If even one screw is slightly off in that car, the entire system starts to dysfunction, starts functioning suboptimally. And now most of us, we wait to do anything about that until it creates a symptom. So think about that in a sports car, like a tire falling off. If you wait until a tire falls off, you're not just going to have to replace the tire. You're going to have to replace the axle and the wheel housing, and there's probably some body work that's going to have happen. And that's the same thing with our health. If you wait until the symptom shows up, you're going to see that this becomes a much more expensive problem than if we just keep this Ferrari finely tuned. If we keep your Lamborghini humming and everything firing on all cylinders and all those cylinders firing perfectly. And guess what? That cylinder, that firing, that happens in your central nervous system, happens in your spine. When that spine's in perfect alignment, then that nervous system can fire optimally. Your body can heal and function and perform the things that you need it to. You can train it to do anything. But if it's out of alignment, it interferes with that process. And if you haven't had that checked, I encourage you to pick up the phone, call or text our office, 531-289-7100. I'm Dr. Jake Tucker. Join me again tomorrow for another episode of Ask Dr. Jake.